The ancient Stoics understood a truth that most people spend their entire lives trying to escape. Human beings suffer far more from imagined judgment than from actual hardship. A harsh winter can test the body. Poverty can test endurance. Failure can test resilience. But the fear of what other people might think has the power to imprison a person even when no chains exist. Look carefully at the lives of most people. They choose careers based on approval. They speak based on acceptance. They dress based on trends. They hide their true opinions to avoid criticism. They chase recognition from people whose opinions they themselves do not respect. Their actions are not guided by reason, but by an invisible audience that exists in their minds. They become actors in a play they never consciously agreed to perform. This is why so many people feel exhausted. They are carrying the impossible burden of managing countless perceptions. Every conversation becomes a performance. Every decision becomes a referendum. Every mistake becomes a source of anxiety. Instead of living their lives, they spend their days managing impressions. The Stoics regarded this as one of the most dangerous forms of slavery. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who commanded one of the greatest empires in history, repeatedly reminded himself of something surprisingly simple. The people whose approval you seek will soon be gone. Their praise will disappear. Their criticism will disappear. Their opinions will be forgotten. Even their names will eventually vanish into history. Yet people surrender their peace of mind to these temporary voices as if they were eternal judges. Consider how strange this is. A person can spend years developing discipline, intelligence, and character. Yet a single negative comment from a stranger can disturb their entire day. A person can have clear goals and strong convictions. Yet a few disapproving looks can cause them to abandon their path. Why? Because somewhere deep within us exists a primitive desire to belong. In ancient times, exclusion from the tribe could mean death. Human beings evolved to be highly sensitive to social acceptance. The problem is that this ancient survival mechanism now operates in a world where most social threats are imaginary. A disapproving glance is not exile. Criticism is not starvation. Rejection is not death. Yet the mind often reacts as though it is facing a mortal danger. The Stoics recognized this weakness and developed a powerful solution. They divided reality into two categories. The first category contains everything within your control: your choices, your values, your effort, your discipline, your character. The second category contains everything outside your control: other people's opinions, their judgments, their emotions, their approval, their criticism. Most suffering begins when people try to control what belongs in the second category. Think about it carefully. Can you force someone to admire you? Can you guarantee that everyone understands your intentions? Can you prevent people from misinterpreting your actions? Can you stop jealousy, gossip, or resentment from existing? Of course not. The Stoics argued that the moment you attempt to control these things, you hand over your freedom. Your happiness becomes dependent on forces you cannot govern. You become emotionally attached to outcomes that were never yours to command. Imagine a sailor trying to control the ocean. He cannot command the wind. He cannot stop storms. He cannot dictate the tides. His power lies only in how he navigates his ship. If he wastes his energy trying to control the sea itself, he becomes frustrated and powerless. But if he focuses on steering skillfully, he becomes effective. Life operates according to the same principle. Your responsibility is not to control how people see you. Your responsibility is to control how you conduct yourself. Yet, many people spend decades fighting a battle they can never win. They attempt to appear intelligent to everyone. Someone still calls them foolish. They attempt to appear kind to everyone. Someone still accuses them of selfishness. They attempt to appear successful to everyone. Someone still dismisses their achievements. No matter what you do, there will always be observers who misunderstand you. This is not a flaw in your strategy. It is a fact of human existence. Even the greatest individuals in history faced criticism. Socrates was condemned by his own society. Marcus Aurelius faced opposition despite his wisdom and restraint. Epictetus spent part of his life as a slave. None of them escaped judgment. The lesson is profound. If extraordinary individuals could not avoid criticism, what makes us believe that we can? The desire to be universally approved is not merely unrealistic. It is irrational, and yet people continue pursuing it because they misunderstand the nature of reputation. Reputation exists almost entirely inside the minds of others. It is not a physical object. It is not something you own. It is a collection of shifting perceptions that can change overnight. One rumor can alter it. One misunderstanding can distort it. One false accusation can damage it. If your sense of worth depends upon reputation, then your emotional stability depends upon something inherently unstable. The Stoics proposed a radically different foundation. Instead of asking, "What do people think of me?" ask, "What kind of person am I becoming?" This question changes everything. One question places your attention outside yourself. The other returns your attention to your own character. One creates anxiety. The other creates responsibility. One makes you dependent. The other makes you free. Freedom begins the moment you stop treating public opinion as a measure of truth. Many people assume that criticism must contain some hidden authority. They hear negative words and immediately begin defending themselves. They explain. They justify. They argue. They desperately try to correct every misunderstanding, but the Stoics understood that constant self-defense often reveals insecurity rather than strength. Imagine a mountain trying to argue with every cloud that passes overhead. The cloud appears. The cloud changes shape. The cloud disappears. The mountain remains. This is the posture of inner strength, not arrogance, not stubbornness, not indifference to legitimate feedback. Rather, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. A quiet confidence that for a person who knows their values does not need to explain every decision. They do not need universal agreement. They do not need constant reassurance. They understand that misunderstanding is part of life. One of the most powerful practices in Stoicism is learning the art of strategic silence. Modern culture encourages endless explanation. Every action must be justified. Every choice must be announced. Every goal must be shared. Every criticism must receive a response. The Stoics would likely view this behavior as a profound waste of energy. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves a reaction. Not every observer deserves access to your thoughts. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness because people assume strength must always be visible. In reality, some of the greatest strength manifests as restraint. When someone provokes you and you remain calm, that is strength. When someone misunderstands you and you continue your work without interruption, that is strength. When someone doubts you and you refuse to seek validation, that is strength. Most people react automatically. They are controlled by every emotional stimulus that enters their environment. Praise excites them. Criticism wounds them. Approval energizes them. Rejection devastates them. Their emotional state becomes a puppet controlled by external hands. The Stoic seeks something different. He seeks sovereignty. He wants his inner world governed by reason rather than reaction. This requires discipline because the temptation to seek approval is everywhere. Every social interaction offers an opportunity to perform. Every achievement offers an opportunity to boast. Every criticism offers an opportunity to Defend, and every opportunity to perform carries the risk of losing yourself. The tragedy is that many people no longer know who they are beneath the performance. After years of adapting to expectations, they become disconnected from their own values. They know what others want from them. They know what earns praise. They know what avoids criticism. But they no longer know what they genuinely believe. The Stoics viewed self-knowledge as essential to freedom. If you do not know your principles, public opinion will define them for you. If you do not establish your own standards, society will impose its standards upon you. If you do not determine your own direction, you will spend your life walking paths chosen by others. This is why radical self-discipline is inseparable from freedom. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects you from impulses. It protects you from distractions. And perhaps most importantly, it protects you from becoming dependent upon approval. A disciplined individual can endure temporary criticism because he values long-term integrity more than short-term acceptance. He understands that many worthwhile pursuits require disappointing people. Building a meaningful life often requires saying no. It requires rejecting expectations. It requires abandoning the desire to please everyone. And it requires accepting that some people will misunderstand your intentions. The immature mind sees this as a problem. The mature mind sees it as the cost of authenticity. There is an important distinction here. Stoicism does not teach you to become cold, detached, or hostile toward others. It teaches you to care about people without becoming controlled by them. You can listen without obeying. You can respect without submitting. You can receive feedback without surrendering your judgment. You can love others deeply while refusing to place your self-worth in their hands. This balance is what separates wisdom from rebellion. The goal is not to reject society. The goal is to stop worshiping its opinions, because the moment you stop caring excessively about people think, something remarkable begins to happen. Your mind becomes quieter. Your decisions become clearer. Your confidence becomes more stable. And your energy returns. Energy that was once wasted on impression management becomes available for meaningful action. You stop monitoring every reaction. You stop analyzing every conversation. You stop replaying every perceived mistake. Instead, you focus on the only thing that has ever truly mattered: your character, your choices, your conduct, and from that foundation emerges a different kind of confidence. Not the fragile confidence built on applause, not the temporary confidence built on popularity, but the enduring confidence that comes from alignment between your values and your actions. This confidence cannot be granted by others, which means it cannot be taken away by others. The Stoics believed that this is where genuine freedom begins. Not when the world approves of you, but when you no longer require its approval in order to remain at peace. The person who masters this lesson becomes extraordinarily difficult to manipulate. Praise no longer controls them. Criticism no longer controls them. Trends no longer control them. Social pressure no longer controls them. They become anchored. And in a world where most people are tossed endlessly between approval and rejection, an anchored person possesses a rare and formidable power. The deeper you examine this freedom, the more you realize that it is not achieved through a single decision. It is forged through repeated encounters with discomfort. Every day presents moments where you must choose between approval and authenticity, between comfort and conviction, between fitting in and standing firm. Most people imagine courage as something dramatic. They picture battlefields, revolutions, or grand acts of defiance. Yet the Stoics understood that courage often appears in much quieter forms. It is the courage to express an unpopular truth. It is the courage to pursue a meaningful goal while others doubt you. It is the courage to remain silent when provoked. It is the courage to continue walking your path when applause disappears. These moments rarely attract attention. No crowds gather to celebrate them. No monuments are built in their honor. Yet they shape the character of a human being far more profoundly than public victories. The irony is that people often become obsessed with approval because they believe it will bring security. They assume that if enough people like them, support them, admire them, or validate them, they will finally feel safe. But the opposite is usually true. The more dependent you become on approval, the more fragile you become. A person addicted to praise lives in constant fear of losing it. A person dependent on validation becomes vulnerable to manipulation. A person whose identity relies on admiration becomes terrified of criticism. Their emotional stability rests upon a foundation they do not control. The Stoics sought a different kind of security. They sought security rooted in virtue. To them, wisdom was secure because it could not be stolen. Discipline was secure because it could not be taken away by public opinion. Integrity was secure because it existed within one's own choices. These were possessions that fortune could not easily touch. Everything else was uncertain. This perspective becomes especially important during periods of failure. When things go wrong, the opinions of others often become louder. People question your decisions. They criticize your choices. They offer advice you never requested. They interpret temporary setbacks as permanent verdicts on your worth. Many individuals collapse during these moments because they begin viewing themselves through the eyes of observers. A failed business becomes proof they are failures. A rejected opportunity becomes proof they are inadequate. A public mistake becomes proof they are incompetent. Yet the Stoics saw adversity differently. They understood that obstacles reveal character. Anyone can appear confident when circumstances are favorable. Anyone can seem wise when life is easy. Anyone can appear disciplined when success arrives effortlessly. The true test emerges when conditions become difficult. This is where one of the most powerful Stoic principles enters the picture: amor fati, the love of fate. Most people tolerate adversity. Some endure it. Very few learn to embrace it. The Stoics challenged themselves to go beyond acceptance and reach appreciation. Not because suffering is pleasant, not because hardship should be romanticized, but because adversity contains opportunities unavailable under comfortable conditions. Patience develops under frustration. Strength develops under resistance. Wisdom develops through mistakes. Resilience develops through hardship. Without obstacles, many of humanity's greatest virtues would never emerge. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal enters the fire. It is struck repeatedly. It experiences pressure, heat, and force. To an outside observer, the process appears destructive. Yet the blacksmith understands something deeper. The fire is not destroying the blade. It is creating it. Life often functions in the same way. The criticism that hurts your pride may strengthen your humility. The rejection that wounds your ego may sharpen your independence. The setback that delays your progress may cultivate patience and perseverance. What appears harmful in the moment may become valuable in hindsight. This understanding fundamentally changes your relationship with other people's opinions. You stop viewing criticism as an attack. You begin viewing it as information. Some criticism is useful. Some is foolish. Some is motivated by jealousy. Some is motivated by genuine concern. The key is learning to evaluate criticism rationally rather than emotionally. Most people make one of two mistakes. They either reject all criticism or accept all criticism. Both approaches are dangerous. Rejecting everything prevents growth. Accepting everything destroys confidence. The Stoic path lies between these extremes. When criticism arrives, ask a simple question. Is it true? If it is true, then it offers an opportunity for improvement. If it is false, then it deserves no emotional investment. In either case, outrage becomes unnecessary. Consider how much suffering could be avoided if people practice this consistently. Someone insults you. Instead of becoming angry, you examine the statement. If it contains truth, you learn. If it contains falsehood, you move on. The emotional storm never develops because your attention remains focused on reality rather than wounded pride. This approach requires tremendous discipline because the ego desperately wants to defend itself. The ego seeks vindication. The ego craves superiority. The ego wants everyone to recognize its value. Yet the Stoics repeatedly warned against becoming enslaved by the ego. They understood that many of our deepest anxieties emerge from exaggerated self-importance. Think about how often people replay embarrassing moments from years ago. They imagine that everyone remembers. They assume others are still judging them. They relive conversations endlessly, but in reality, most people are too occupied with their own concerns to focus on yours. The spotlight you imagine shining upon you rarely exists. People are generally thinking about themselves, not their problems, their ambitions, their insecurities, their fears. This realization can feel surprisingly liberating. The mistake you made years ago is probably forgotten. The awkward comment you regret is likely insignificant. The criticism that kept you awake at night may have occupied the critic's mind for only a few moments. The prison often exists entirely within your own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius reflected frequently on this reality. He reminded himself that fame itself was fleeting. The people praising you are temporary. The people criticizing you are temporary. The generations that remember you are temporary. Everything external eventually fades. What remains is the quality of your character. This perspective becomes even more powerful when applied to ambition. Many people abandon meaningful goals because they fear judgment. They fear looking foolish. They fear failing publicly. They fear being criticized for trying. As a result, they choose safety. They remain silent. They delay action. They postpone dreams. Years pass. Potential fades, and eventually they discover something painful. The regret of inaction is often heavier than the fear that prevented action in the first place. The Stoics would argue that the greatest failure is not being criticized. The greatest failure is allowing fear of criticism to determine your life. Think about how many remarkable achievements would never have occurred if their creators demanded universal approval before acting. Every innovator faced skepticism. Every reformer faced opposition. Every visionary faced ridicule. Every individual who accomplished something meaningful eventually encountered people who doubted them. The difference is that they continued anyway, not because they were immune to fear, but because they valued their purpose more than public opinion. This is where strategic scarcity becomes a powerful tool. The modern world encourages constant visibility. People announce goals before achieving them. They document every step. They seek immediate validation for unfinished work. The Stoics would likely advise the opposite. Work quietly. Build privately. Improve consistently. Allow results to speak. There is tremendous power in becoming less available to distraction and external judgment. When every ambition is publicly displayed, it becomes vulnerable to countless opinions. Some supportive, some discouraging, some irrelevant. A scattered mind absorbs all of them. A disciplined mind remains focused on the task itself. This does not mean hiding forever. It means understanding that growth often occurs most effectively in silence. A seed develops underground long before anyone sees the tree. A foundation is built before a structure rises. Character develops privately before it becomes visible publicly. Many people underestimate the importance of this hidden phase. They seek recognition too early. They seek validation too often. And in doing so, they interrupt the very process that creates excellence. The Stoics repeatedly emphasize that meaningful work should be pursued because it is right, not because it is admired. This distinction changes everything. If admiration arrives, fine. If criticism arrives, fine. If recognition arrives, fine. If obscurity remains, fine. The work itself remains worthwhile. The disciplined individual understands that external rewards are uncertain. Internal excellence remains available every day. And this brings us to perhaps the most important realization of all. You will never completely eliminate judgment from the world. People will form opinions. They will misunderstand. They will criticize. They will praise. They will speculate. They will project their own fears, desires, and insecurities onto you. This is part of being human. The goal is not to stop this process. The goal is to stop allowing it to govern your life. Imagine reaching the end of your years and looking back honestly. Imagine reaching the end of your years and looking back honestly. Will it matter that some strangers disapproved of your choices? Will it matter that certain people misunderstood your intentions? Will it matter that critics questioned your decisions? Or will what truly matter be whether you lived according to your values, whether you acted with courage, whether you cultivated wisdom, whether you fulfilled your responsibilities, and whether you remained faithful to your principles? The Stoics believed the answer was obvious. Character outlasts reputation. Integrity outlasts popularity. Wisdom outlasts praise. And inner peace outlasts public approval. So stop carrying the burden of managing every opinion. Stop surrendering your energy to imaginary audiences. Stop measuring your worth through the fluctuating judgments of others. Focus instead on what belongs to you. Your actions, your discipline, your choices, your response to adversity, your commitment to truth. Build these carefully, day after day, and something extraordinary begins to happen. The need for approval weakens. The fear of criticism fades. The noise of public opinion grows quieter. And in that silence you discover a freedom that cannot be granted by society and cannot be taken away by it. The freedom to live according to reason. The freedom to pursue what matters. The freedom to remain steady amid praise and blame alike. The freedom to become the master of yourself. And once you possess that freedom, the opinions of others lose the power they once held over your life. They become passing weather across a vast sky while you remain rooted, calm, disciplined, and unshaken, guided not by the changing voices of the crowd, but by the enduring strength of your own character.